Struggle meals are typically cheap and easy to make dishes from random ingredients most commonly eaten by poor college students. We've all been there where it's a matter of sustenance over substance, and despite being a professional chef with 20 years of experience, I am not above a struggle meal. Put aside your pride and appreciate that you get to put any calories in your body at all, because no matter how strange, cheap, or random, when you're struggling, there's a lot more important things to worry about. Before I go on with today's episode, I do want to give a special shout out to my amazing patron, Melissa Olstrom. Thank you so much for your support. And with that said, on to the reaction. Struggle meals. You know, sometimes,
Ramen?
yeah, ramen, cup ramen. But there are little things you can do with struggle meals to make them that much better.
Ooh, I like this.
Yes, yeah. So,
All about that.
our boy FutureCanoe, we checking out.
Oh, FutureCanoe?
Yes.
Those are his hands?
Those are his hands.
Oh, no.
Yeah, those are some fatty hands right there.
They're
Yes.
like sausagey.
Yeah, very sausagey. They're very in ratio to the rest of his body. They're pretty thick, you know. All right, but let's not sausagey.
That's my word.
Okay, let's check this out. Testing my subscribers' struggle meals.
As the title suggests, this is another episode of Struggle Meals. It's always good to keep struggle meal recipes around because you never know when life is gonna kick you in the crotch, give you a wedgie, and spit on your face. Over the past few weeks, I received a lot of recipes from all of you. Today, we'll make them, try them, and rate them 1 through 10. I divided the recipes up into 4 categories: rice, instant foods, pizza, and murder attempts. These are recipes.
Murder attempts. What the fuck? All right, rice, vomit.
Look, girlfriend, OJ, Bengali pudding.
Yeah, what is that? Chicken quesadilla? Okay, that's a good struggle meal. That's gonna be cheap and fast. All right, let's see.
Murder attempts. These are recipes that seem so weird that I can't really tell if it will change my life for the better or you're just trying to kill me. First recipe is called mug pizza from Teen Artist. We're using my annoying roommate's mug that says no coffee, no talkie. He thinks he's quirky, but we're just lame. 4 tablespoons of flour, 1/8 of a teaspoon of baking powder, and a 1/16 teaspoon of baking soda. Who measures like
pizza
that?
in a
Also
mug?
add some salt,
Yeah.
mix all the white ingredients, we'll move on to the wet ingredients, which is just milk that I got for myself and some olive oil. Turn that into a paste, we'll top it with whatever we like. Obviously we're gonna go with a lot of never-ending raclette. Finally, we'll just throw it into the microwave for a minute and a half. Do you
Clean
think
your
my
fucking
microwave's clean?
microwave.
Here it is,
Ugh.
the mug pizza. Smells better than it looks, but let's give it a taste and rate it 1 through 10.
No.
Tastes kind of like an overly moist biscuit or a really savory cake. The cheese definitely saves the day. As a struggle meal, is a solid 6 out of 10.
There is a legit technique making sponge cake in a cup. It was used a lot in the early days of Chopped for the final round, where you would make sponge cake in a cup, break it into pieces, make this kind of deconstructed dessert. So that is legit, but I would not eat that. I would not make that on the regular for myself. Tortilla pizza. I've done that a million times.
The tortilla crust is a little unstable, so we're going to stack them up. And our first step is to put them in the oven to get crispy. And to make it more authentic, we'll top it off with tomato puree and never-ending raclette, just like how Ashley White's Nonna used to do it. And then back into the 400-degree oven for about 8 minutes. My annoying roommate's watching TV, so there's a lot of background noises. But trust me, this thing is really crunchy. This actually looks like one of those flatbread pizza they sell
if you're
at
drunk,
Domino's.
right?
Just tastes like a low-end frozen
That's
pizza.
ready in 10 minutes, start to finish. Maybe even less. You know?
Yeah.
But I don't hate
And
that.
I
one.
wouldn't even pre.
I wouldn't
I
exam.
would just use it. In fact, I would layer
Just about to say. I was just about to say that.
like the cheese,
Yes.
tomato,
Tortilla.
not so much,
Yeah,
just enough that it holds together,
Yep.
right? Binds together, and then the top one gets
Yep.
the dose.
Yes. Okay. I don't hate this one.
Yeah.
And pizza,
But we could
definitely
definitely
cheaper.
improve
So
on
on a
that
real
struggle
quick.
meal scale, I'm gonna give it an
Okay.
8 out
I
of 10.
agree with that. Kitchen.
As I'm pulling out the other half wheel of raclette, I noticed something horrible happen. Then I started thinking, raclette's already fermented and
Yeah,
covered in
so,
mold,
yeah.
so more shouldn't hurt, right? We'll just cut it off and use it for this recipe. And whatever happens to me after the video, I'll keep you guys updated. If I stop posting
the
for a
white
while, you-
molds, I don't advise eating it. You're not going to die. You may get a little upset stomach. It's when the mold is neon, like magenta or something like that. Like, do not eat that. You will die.
Wow, you wouldn't be surprised. We also need some kimchi and corn. Raymond also asked for I give a second chance to QP mayo, but since we already have the raclette, I'm gonna skip it because if the never-ending raclette and the I give a second chance to QP mayo is ever in the same
raclette
bowl,
and QP mayo are two totally different textures. But okay, I would take the
QP mayo.
Yeah.
The universe will explode. We'll put another tortilla on top and sear both sides on medium-low heat for 3 minutes.
Yeah, very important. Do the
I would
meat.
have done that with the pizza.
Yeah, yes. Very important. You go on medium to low heat because otherwise, too high of a heat, you're going to burn the outside and not melt the cheese on the inside.
This is the best looking one so far. I have high hopes for it.
Dude, if I was drunk...
Cheese nicely melted. Let's give it a taste. The acidity from the kimchi and the fattiness of the cheese has a nice contrast going on. My only complaint is the lack of protein, but you know, it's a struggle meal. It tastes amazing, but it's not that easy to make, so I'll give it an 8.5.
I think he means
the
meat.
instant food segment.
He's craving some meat in there, but I'd eat
struggling more than
that.
canned beans and
ramen
burrito.
burrito.
So we're gonna put them together and make it into a burrito. Look Egg also asked for cheddar cheese and dry parsley. I'm gonna skip those. I'll just microwave some Taco Bell refried beans, cut up some pepper, and pretty much all of the flavor in this burrito come from my favorite ramen, Indomie. I should make a dedicated video for it. We'll go a layer of beans, pepper, and noodles. Roll it up. I've been seeing a lot of comments lately accusing me of being obsessed with cross-section.
Yeah, you made the ramen.
Yeah, eat the ramen. Yeah,
and put in those fresh chopped little vegetables in there.
Yeah.
And you could dry. I would cut up those into little chips and then put that into the soup.
Right. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Almost like a ramen tortilla soup, right? Yeah. This is too much effort.
Yeah.
Comments lately accusing me of being obsessed with cross sections. My response to that is, you're right, and this one is looking pretty good. The refried beans gets kind of creamy, intertwined between the noodles. Creates a pretty interesting texture, and the pepper has the freshness that I desperately needed. But I'd rather eat Indomie on its own, so I'll give it a 5.5.
Yeah, if you gave those same ingredients to Frenchy and I, we would have just made the ramen and put everything.
You know how funny it would be, because if they had us in separate rooms, we would probably come up with
I would say something very similar for sure.
This one scares me a little bit. Our boy Amir calls this soy oats. You're right, it sounds exactly like what it is. It starts off normal. To some oats, we'll add some water, boil till creamy. Now it gets weird. Amir wants me to put broth powder and some sunny side up eggs. When he mentioned sunny side up eggs, he added he trusts me. That's a reference to my streak of not being able to cook a single egg properly. I'm sorry to tell you, Amir, you underestimated my laziness, because I'm about to replace both the broth powder and eggs with miso paste. I understand where you're going. It's just a savory oats, so I think it'll do. Finally, some soy sauce. Stir that together, and we're done. Here's what I call the healthy lunch for a Jap.
First of all, I love oatmeal. I do this PB2 powder, which is dried peanut powder, and I put some sugar in there, flaxseed, some hazelnut flour, and I mix that into oatmeal with coconut milk. It's fucking bomb.
Yeah, oatmeal is so unhealthy.
Yeah. Cellulite, baby. Yeah. Chasing for that.
You want to get fat?
Cottage cheese ass.
Sell some oatmeal.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, it's very nutritious, but
why they give it to cows?
Yeah. And you called me cow before.
A Japanese horse. So when it first entered my mouth, I kind of wanted to spit it out. But the more I chew it, the more I realize it's really flavorful, and maybe oats is supposed to be savory. It reminds me of one of those Chinese porridge thing that they serve at Cantonese restaurants. Better than I expected, but I'm not gonna take a second bite.
What, the porridge or that?
7.5 out of 10. This one is said to be a traditional family recipe called the milk soup. It's ironic how it's a family recipe, but my dad's still not back with the milk. While the milk is coming to a simmer, we'll add some sugar, and I don't know what these noodles are, so I'll go with the ramen noodles. It's all noodles, they should be similar.
Fuck, but once you boil the milk, it's gonna separate, and no, I don't like this.
Wait a second, how's it not cooked? There it is.
Once the noodles are cooked, it's ready to consume. It's just hot milk and sugar and instant noodles with nothing else, no seasoning. And I'm gonna taste it and rate it 1 through 10. I'm gonna put this in my mouth.
No, don't.
Now back to the small pot. We'll spray in some oil and put it on high heat, starting with scrambling some eggs.
Hey, good
And
form.
when the
Yeah.
eggs are cooked, we'll put in some diced tomatoes. I just dice them really fine. We'll season it with soy sauce and water, and again coming with a whole packet of indomie. I feel like with this, we're exiting the realm of struggle meals, so it's okay to go above and beyond with this one.
Wait,
Cheese
what did he
pull
do?
and
I think
tomato
there's some
sauce.
cheese,
This
yeah.
is like if you had lasagna for dinner and threw it up later that night. So let's give it a taste and rate it 1 through 10. I've always been a big fan of the tomato and egg combo, so coming into it, I knew it was gonna be decent. It's kind of
Yeah,
like
tomato and egg is very common Cantonese dish I grew up eating, so I don't mind this
shakshuka,
one.
or that Chinese dish. We
Did he
just
say
added a
shakshuka?
whole
Yeah, she
packet of
said
indomie
shakshuka.
into it. Even though it tastes great, I'm gonna give it a 6.9 because it has too many steps.
Yeah, that's a good point. Struggle
This
meal
is an important
should be easy.
category because I just learned that 20% of all calories consumed by human beings on Earth is in the form of rice. That means 1 in every 5 calories. No wonder why egg fried rice can become its own niche on YouTube. Our first recipe is from
Good
bechamel
point.
sauce. Is this short for bechamel sauce? He calls it vomit rice. Yum. Starting with dried seaweed, I'm gonna cut up some of these old sushi nori into a pot, then some instant noodle seasoning, obviously indomie again, a third of water, of a cup
Is
or
he
of
taking
the
out the
pot. Put it on the
plastic
stove to
packet?
simmer and
Yeah, he did.
stream in
No, it was still
kind of
in there.
similar to the
It was still, I'm sure he did.
technique from egg drop soup. The smell
Yeah,
of the
that's a-
seaweed and egg combined is really coming through, like a polluted beach with sulfur. After 30 seconds of stirring, we'll add the rice and let it sit for 45 seconds.
Okay, I've actually made something very similar to this. It does look like vomit, but flavor-wise, it's pretty banging.
Before pouring it out. Not gonna lie, bechamel sauce nailed it with the name. The only difference between this and vomit is the reflective acidity. Let's give it a taste and rate it 1 through 10.
Oh,
Tastes like the combination of a seaweed miso soup and porridge, so things I don't enjoy. But the ramen seasoning packet really saved it. I think this only tastes good if you're cold
Yeah,
and
it's too-
starving.
this is too much. I'm getting
7.2 out of
nauseous.
10. The next rice recipe also has a great name. Anna calls it the thick risotto. I can already feel Italian hands coming on my face just by deciding to make this dish. All we need to do is combine cooked rice, cream cheese, mozzarella, she meant never-ending raclette, oregano, and ketchup. We'll mix everything together and put it in the
not the
microwave
ketchup.
for 30 seconds. Honestly, I think the name of the previous dish is more fitting here. Maybe I should post this on Instagram and tell everybody it's risotto. Nah, I don't want to be dealing with mean comments today. It seems really thick and sounds like a good
I used to make
mac
a
and
faux
cheese.
risotto.
Yeah?
Don't you remember the risotto I used to make?
No. You
That's-
don't make this for me.
Oh yeah.
Oh, what you make?
It was a way of recycling the old rice.
Oh. Yeah.
I used to mix it with the bechamel sauce, and people
Banging.
and people were like, damn.
Oh, yeah. That's what you did with that, right? Makes a lot of sense.
You thought it was real risotto.
Oh, it was real risotto this whole time. There you go.
I got.
Hey, man. Hey, listen. Hey, there.
And people loved it.
If it tastes good and people order it and no one complains,
It's a
play ball. Perfect example. You know, we slice a ton of cheese at Mission, right? So at the end of there's all these fucking, end pieces that you can't slice anymore. I mix them all up and I shred it all up and I put it in the chicken parms.
Yeah.
And no one, not a single customer had. Now we still put in mozzarella, but we will blend the two. No one has noticed. And no one has complained whatsoever. And if anything, it's more expensive.
Yeah.
Because there's sharp provolone in there. There's a tiny bit of pepper jack, a tiny bit of cheddar. Is it authentic? Well, none of my sandwiches are authentic. Who cares?
Yeah, but it's like a 4 cheese.
Yeah.
It's like
A lot of tiny cheese pulls going on here. It does have the consistency of risotto, but the overall flavors reminds me of Wegmans sushi rolls. I'm a fan of cheesy
Wegmans
rice,
sushi
so I'll
rolls.
give it an 8.6 out of 10. I know it doesn't look good, but it tastes decent. You can add some protein in it and it's a complete meal. Now to the land of diabolical ideas, murder attempts. Surprisingly, these are the simplest dishes of the day. Starting with the OJ goldfish cereal. Yep. It's exactly how it sounds. So the normal cereal procedure, believe me when I tell you, there's no goldfish in my local grocery store. So once we pour the juice, cheesy fish will be replaced by the extra toasty square with the hole in it. This is like the medicine for calcium deficiency or a sign of mental instability. So let's try it out. I'm ashamed to admit it, but I'm digging this. a lot. Normally when I eat Cheez-Its, it's always too dry. My throat is extremely experienced with swallowing, but they still manage to give me salty surprises sometimes. So with the moisture from the OJ, it balances it out. I guess cheese and fruit has always been a good combo.
Wow!
8.3 out of 10.
Whoa!
No way. No way.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
way.
All right. All right. All right.
Aya claims this is a Filipino
Milo.
classic. The
My
Milo
wife drinks this every night. It's like kind of like Ovaltine.
But why at night?
I don't know. It's just kind of like if she doesn't drink this before bed, she can't fall asleep.
Really?
Yeah. She drinks this every night.
Milo over rice. I have no idea what Milo
Ugh,
is. Personally,
over rice?
I'm more of a fan of Ovaltine because it's British and Milo's Canadian. Considering Meltisers are my favorite candy, I'm sure this wouldn't be that bad. We just put a couple scoops of Milo powder on top of cooked rice and eat it
But
just
is
like
it
this.
like rice pudding?
Maybe.
Well, it's definitely not bad, but it's not good either. I'll give it a neutral score of
Not
4 out
bad.
of 10.
And
I'll never. I feel like I just wasted my jaw energy. Majabin gave us 2 recipes. I'm only gonna make the first one, which starts with an egg in a mug. Seems to be a theme.
That's not a struggle meal anymore. Once you put an egg in it today, that's a luxury.
Of this episode, a little bit of sugar and 2 teaspoons of
I
powdered
bet you
milk.
know, in under
Milo.
certain
Is Milo
circumstances,
Yeah.
caviar is cheaper than eggs.
Oh my god. Yeah. Oof.
milk? Mix it all together and put it in the microwave for a minute. When it's done, I'm a little bit confused by its looks. So jiggly. Doesn't feel like
Bengali
something you
pudding?
should be putting into your mouth, but it's basically a sweetened egg with a little bit of coagulated egg white on top.
this is too much.
He went back for a second bite.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
Last but not least, we have the most straightforward instruction ever. Takis dipped in Nutella. Somehow every struggle meal episode ends with a bag of Takis. But as a wise man once said,
I would like to talk to you on the phone.
for such simple instructions, let's get
Yeah, so my buddy Matt Halpern, the drummer of Periphery, he told me this insane sandwich combination that is fucking delicious. It was peanut butter, Doritos, and onions.
Raw onions cooked.
Raw onion. And it was delicious. I was shocked. He's like, he kept saying, give it a chance. And I gotta tell you, I was really impressed. So this like watching him do this Takis and fucking Nutella, I'm kind of like, okay, I'd give that a try.
We know you're easily impressed.
Yeah.
Let's get straight into the trying it and rating it 1 through 10. While my body is confused, but my mind is pleased. The Nutella kind of masks the pungent flavors from the Taki seasonings and mellows it out with the creaminess. Combined together, it makes the Taki smoother and the Nutella more
Look,
exciting.
I love that it's hazelnut spread. It's not even original Nutella.
Now, are the Takis the ones that are really spicy?
I think I never tried Takis. I think they're very spiced. I hear that they are spicy, but I think they're very spiced as well. So just a shit ton of spice seasoning.
More exciting. 9 out of 10. This
Wow.
is kind of life-changing. Is that why Leon dyed his hair Taki color? Because I'm thinking about doing the same thing. I offered some to my roommate, but got rejected. You probably wouldn't believe me either, so why don't you try it for yourself? Anyways, it's always great to test out your recipes. Makes me realize everybody's so creative. I apologize that I couldn't review everybody's submissions. We'll do more of these videos in the future.
Oh, you
These
went back?
creative struggle meals aren't just about saving money or struggling. I see them as all of your innate ability to make the best of a bad situation.
going back
or
for
find
thirds,
joy
baby.
within the
I gotta
harshness
try
of
this
life.
now.
As I said it before, remember the most important
I'm gonna bring
part
it
of
here.
the struggle meal
Yes.
is to eat it with a heart full of hope. Alright, thank you.
Thank you, FutureCanoe.
It's still FutureCanoe is peak YouTube content, man. Really like his content. Yeah, when I was a kid, I used to dunk chicken nuggets into my Frosty at Wendy's.
Oh, I used to know a kid. French fries and
Yeah,
milkshake.
French fry and milkshake. Yeah, it was awesome.
Before we close out this episode, I want to say thank you to all of my amazing patrons. Thank you so much for your support. And for the rest of you, please consider becoming a patron by clicking the link in the description below. By becoming a patron, you get to take advantage of some awesome perks like early access to new episodes and patron exclusive content.
All right, let us know some of your struggle meals in the comments below. Hope you enjoyed this episode as much as we did making it. Remember,
Of all those meals that I used to make as a kid alone, you know, on Saturday. Yeah.
it's good vibes.
But they were good though. They were good. Even as a little kid, like experimenting, they were good.
All right, well, yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that as much as we did making it. And with that said, I'm Chef Brian Tsao, not your typical chef.
Frenchy.
And we'll see you really soon. Say bye to the wide cam, Frenchie.
Bye, White Kim.
Bye.